It's Matt Walsh. Should men carry tampons? Dylan Mulvaney says yes. Whatever. I mean, I think it's weird, but like, here's my thing, bro. There's this weird. I still don't get it. I don't get. There's so many people that like will say to me, and when I talk about Dylan Mulvaney, they'll be like, that's not a real girl. That's just somebody pretending to be a girl. And like, you think that, and it's just not true. Like, there's a trans woman, and again, if you don't want to be trans affirming, whatever. I am. It's fine. But it's like it's people who already don't like trans people are pretending that this isn't a trans woman. Like, she doesn't have a particularly unique experience. Oh, she transitioned later in life. Okay. Oh, she didn't grow up being conditioned as a woman. So she's kind of like maybe playing onto more stereotypes. Okay. Like, that's kind of how things work. I find that ironic because a lot of people who criticize them are for traditional women's roles. But then when a trans woman like tries to engage in that, it's like, well, you're not. Well, you're just pretending to be a woman. It's like, listen, bro. You're just transphobic. Like, you don't have to say that Dylan Mulvaney's not a unique trans person. Stop pretending that they're just an act. I mean, they are literally an actor, like a Broadway. But stop pretending that it's all an act and they're not like. You're just say I don't like trans people. Like, it's totally. It's not. I mean, I don't like it. I disagree with it. It's not really fine, but it's fine. But just be open about it. Stop pretending that this is an edge case. It's like most trans women like will transition after they become adults, and like that's what we want. We don't want trans people to become like to start transitioning before they're adults. So let's go. Cancel.
There are many, shall we say, strange things about male TikTok star Dylan Mulvaney, who has amassed $1 million fortune from endorsement deals ever since deciding that he wants to pretend that he's a woman.
Yeah, see, like, well, okay, like that's just how you feel about trans people.
Perhaps the weirdest aspect of Mulvaney's very profitable woman face charade is his obsession with tampons, products that those of us with a male anatomical structure have no use for. And Mulvaney has a male anatomical structure because he is, again, a male, no matter how often or how obnoxiously he claims the contrary. Yet, much is revealed here.
I don't think that Matt Walsh likes trans people. I never would have expected it.
I think about the trans phenomenon, and all of it is extremely bizarre and disturbing.
I might be a little bizarre. It's weird. I mean, I don't fully get it, but I don't think it's disturbing. It's a conversation about, like, honestly, mental health and how we should be affirming of people with issues, bro. It's not that big of a fucking deal. I think trans people have better outcomes when we help them transition. It's really not that deep. I know people are like, no, that's not true. Suicidality stays the same. Okay. It doesn't. That doesn't actually sit, like, it's not actually the proper, that's not, the transitioning isn't really defined in that criteria, right? It's just like there's so many different types of transitioning. So you're like, well, after they transition, it stays the same. No, not really. Like it's a slow process, bro. You social transitioning, you can do hormone transitioning. There's like multiple surgeries to transition. Like, it's not a confirmed thing. Also, this is based off of a study from done the 1970s, where people were overdiagnosed with gender dysphoria, which was called gender identity disorder at the time. It turned out a lot of them were just gay people, and we just diagnosed them with GID. It's one of the reasons why we changed gender dysphoria. Try to have a better conversation about trans people. And also there's a mental health aspect that is probably arguably more important than the surgical aspect of it. So saying that, I just have to qualify it every time because there's always a new person that's like, no, it's not true because you're listening to people who don't like trans people when it comes. You can still disagree with shit, but like that, it's more helpful for trans people to get medical help, whether it's mental health help, and then sometimes hormones and surgery based on what they need and what their therapist agrees upon.
So backing up for a moment, in April, Mulvaney, who's still in the early days then of his days of girlhood shtick, recounted an alleged incident that sparked his resolve to always carry tampons. Listen.
Day 12 of being a girl, and I just picked
Hey, sometimes your penis bleeds or your butthole. You gotta put it right in that hole.
up some tampons, and y'all are probably thinking, Dylan, where are you going to put those? They're not for me. But this last weekend, I was in the restroom, and the girl in the stall next to me was like, hey, do you have a tampon? And I froze. I was like, sorry, no. But in that moment, I decided, you know what? I'm always going to have one on hand for anyone who needs it.
I guess that makes sense for a trans person to have a tampon on them in case another woman needs them, right? As a man, I wouldn't, because that's fucking weird. But I guess I get it. Now the title makes sense. Shouldn't men carry tampons? Because he's calling Dylan a man. And I thought there was going to be a video of Dylan advocating for men to carry tampons, and I'd be like, no, it's stupid. But Dylan's a woman, so not a female, not biologically, but socially, gender-wise, for sure.
You come over to my house and we're having a glass of wine, I got a tampon for you. If we're in the club together and then we go to the bathroom, I got a tampon for you.
We're in the
women
club.
Supporting women. Love ya.
Okay.
Now, I confess that I have no...
What do you mean this Dylan dude is the biggest troll? Why do you say, like, oh my God. Why do you think that? What's the troll about them, brother? I'm just genuinely curious since you just popped in. This is the problem with doing live streams. You got fucking goobers and goblins coming in the middle of the segments, not listening to everything I said.
Personal firsthand knowledge of what goes on inside a woman's bathroom because I'm a man, just like...
Bro, I'm going to tell you something. It's disgusting. Women's bathrooms are dirtier than men's, bro. It's like ketchup and mustard and fucking... Looks like someone took ketchup and mustard and sprayed it all over the toilet seat. Disgusting. Women won't even sit down on the seat. They'll fucking hover and piss and fucking shit and period everywhere. It's true. It's true.
This guy, the only difference is that one of us respects a woman's right to privacy and the other one of us is Dylan Mulvaney. All that to say, if I had to guess, I would suspect that a woman shouting to a stranger in the next stall asking for a tampon is not a normal occurrence.
I don't know. Maybe it's more normal. If a woman needs a tampon, they might say, hey, can you give me a tampon? Why do you think this is? I mean, it probably happens every once in a while.
A woman shouting to a stranger in the next stall asking for a tampon is not a normal occurrence.
I don't think it's an abnormal occurrence. It just might not be frequent. That's okay.
It reminds me of the Seinfeld scene where Elaine asks for asks her stall neighbor.
I feel like it's the same thing as like, can I have toilet paper in the next stall if you're taking a dump and you don't realize that there's no toilet paper?
For some toilet paper, something that I've never personally heard or seen anyone do in real life, ever. And if I were ever on the receiving end of such a request in a public bathroom, I would consider it a horrendous breach. Some toilet paper, something that I've receiving end of such a request in a public bathroom, I would consider it a horrendous breach of public bathroom etiquette.
What? Dude, you're so weird. This guy's like, yeah, if someone was taking a shit and they didn't have toilet paper and they asked me for it, I would cry. Why? It's not a breach of etiquette. If I'm taking a dump and I don't have toilet paper, what do you want me to do? Yo, bro, can you toss me some paper? Because like sometimes they have like extra rolls, and I'd help them out. If somebody did to me, there's no greater struggle in the world than taking a fat shit and not having toilet paper, bro. What am I supposed to do? I'm in like a public restroom. You want me to get up with shit in my fucking ass? You want me to take my underwear off, wipe my ass, and flush them down the toilet and run out? Go fucking commando? I'm not gonna pull a Ben Stiller. I'm not gonna zipper my fucking penis and balls into my fucking zipper. Matt Walsh, you're a weird dude. Like, you just don't interact with society normally. It's not even the trans shit that's weird. I know plenty of people who don't like understand trans people. It's just that this whole fucking like, yeah, you know, it's so weird for women to ask for tampons. This is a Ben Shapiro. I gotta not do Ben Shapiro. Oh, it's so weird for women to ask for tampons in the bathroom if they run out of one. Right, because women would rather just bleed all over their fucking underwear than put a new tampon in, right? They'd rather go fucking septic than be like, hey, do you have one? Other woman? And then it leads into like, yeah, if somebody asked me for toilet paper, I would literally cry. Like, what? I know you didn't say cry, but it's like, holy fuck. Come on, bro. What is happening? Like, this is not... It's like, it's this desperation to find an analogous take to the tampon thing and say like, see, that's just weird, and that's why Dylan's not a girl. And it's like, bro, you don't have to be this fucking weird. You don't have to be this disconnected from reality.
Yeah, perhaps these kinds of exchanges do happen sometimes in the women's restroom. I don't know. It's just
Probably.
Interesting that Dylan Mulvaney had, quote, been a girl for like 12 days and had already encountered that.
Okay, maybe.
But whether he made it up or not, the point is that he decided to always carry tampons around for any woman who might need it.
Okay, and maybe it's a virtue signal. Hey guys, I want to carry around tampons in case a woman needs it. You know, maybe she's coping. Maybe she's just like so desperate to be seen as a woman that she wants to carry tampons in case another woman needs help, so she can be like, I helped. You know, we have all been there, I guess. You know, but okay.
He expected that women, his fellow women, as he considers them, would fall over themselves to thank and congratulate him for volunteering to be a tampon repository. Okay. But instead, actual women just found the whole thing very creepy and gross.
Why would be creepy?
And Dylan felt offended.
No woman that would find that creepy and gross unless they just find trans people creepy. Like, if you find trans people creepy, of course you're going to find this creepy and gross. But there's no woman that's like down with trans people that found this additionally creepy. So it's
offended by that. He felt offended that women were not more appreciative of his acts of tampon charity.
Ooh,
and that led to this
Let's
video
see what we
posted
got
this week.
Let's see what we got.
Day 271 of being a girl, or I'll say woman for this one, because this...
Wait, so this is day 271 out of day 12? So we're like, almost a year later? Like, it's fucking 9 months?
Video is for the women on Twitter who just really don't like me. Hello, ladies.
This is almost a year later. 259 days later? I guess, what was that? How many months is 259? A lot of months. It's a lot. It's a lot of months. I don't know, but you get my point. This isn't a direct. You made it seem like it was a direct follow up to the tampon carrying. This is not.
We got a lot to cover, but let's first talk tampons.
Okay.
I haven't talked about tampons on here lately because I don't use them. I'm a woman who doesn't have a uterus. I know this, and science was my strongest subject in high school. I was also shockingly good at math, but I digress.
I mean, I feel like I respect that take. How many times? Like, there's occasionally like a delusional person that's like, you know what I mean? That this person, she knows what she's about. She's, yeah, I'm biologically don't have a uterus. Okay.
I just sometimes carry one in case anybody needs it.
Okay.
And that seems to have just set the world on fire in some pretty nasty ways. And this is a conversation that's been going on for months. I just haven't chimed in because I'm so tired of sticking up for myself over something that was so pure intentioned.
True.
And now Twitter is just ablaze. The bigger problem at hand is that you feel me carrying a tampon around is a threat to you and your womanhood. How is someone doing something nice so repulsive to you?
Damn.
Because listen to this. If a man, whether he was your boyfriend or your
kind of
husband,
based,
could even be your gay best friend, kept a tampon for you at his house just in case you needed it, you'd gush over him. You would run to brunch on Sunday and tell all your gal pals that he's so thoughtful and he cares and he listens. And then a trans woman does it and all...
Yeah, but that wouldn't be a real man. If you listen to your woman, you're not a real man, bro. Sis, you know.
All of a sudden, I'm the reason that there's a tampon shortage. You know, it's not because I'm misogynistic, it's because you're transphobic. You know, we gotta work through this. And babe, caring for others, it's the bare minimum.
She's kind of right, dude. She's kind of speaking facts on that one, dude. It's kind of speaking facts. I wonder what part they cut out of the middle there. I'm a little curious.
One of being a girl, or I'll say woman for this one, because this... Day 271 of being a girl, or I'll say woman for this one, because this video is for the women on Twitter who just really don't like me. Hello, ladies.
Okay.
We got a lot to cover, but let's first talk tampons. I haven't talked about tampons on here lately because I don't use them. I'm a woman who doesn't have a uterus. I know this. And science was my strongest subject in high school. I was also shockingly good at math, but I digress. I just sometimes carry one in case anybody needs it. And that seems to have just set the world on fire in some pretty nasty ways. And this is a conversation that's been going on for months. I just haven't chimed in because I'm so tired of sticking up for myself over something that was so pure intentioned. But now Twitter is just ablaze. And this week, there's some women that are now coming for Tampax. And I wanted to clear the air. So, I have some amazing...
Why are they coming for Tampax?
...news. Are you ready? I have never worked with Tampax before. The most that happened was they sent me a few boxes of tampons back in April, just in case I bumped into anyone, including yourselves, and I gave them all away. I've got a few left. And this one's really going to blow your mind. I have never made $1 off of feminine hygiene products.
Oh, so people are going crazy, and there's like an article here. Transphobes push anti-Tampax campaign after dirty DM joke. So basically, this is why she's talking about it now. She's not talking about it because of like the video she made 359 days ago or whatever, 259 days ago. She's talking about it because people are trolling Tampax. And somehow Dylan is becoming an individual that's tied into it. Fact, not all women have periods. Also fact, not all people with periods are women. Let's celebrate diversity of all people who bleed. Okay, whatever. I mean, if you want to be like, oh, they don't care, it's a business maybe, but okay, whatever. It's anti-woman to refer to women as people who bleed. Males do not bleed from their non-existent vaginas. Bro, who cares? Bro, I'm just going to be real with you. Like, women don't give that much of a fuck about it. Some women are going to pretend to, but you don't give that much of a fuck about the fact that your pussy bleeds. Like, it's not that it's not fucking hurting women. Most people know that the overwhelming majority of people who have periods are women. Trans men probably don't even have periods that much if they're on hormones anyway. But like, it's who cares? Like, this is like, if this is the biggest woman issue that you feel like you're facing, then like I feel good. That's good for you. Like, I'm happy for you that you don't have real problems. If this is a genuine woman issue to you that we say people who bleed, then you're living your best life. And you know what? Let's just start saying people who come instead of men. Just people who come. Tissues for people who come instead of for men, because that's what it's about, brother. All right, it's just for peeps who get deep. They coom. Couldn't really make a good joke out of that, but you get my point. All right? So good for you living your best privileged fucking life here.
So I hope that helps you sleep better at night, knowing that. And no need to bring Tampax into this. But the bigger problem at hand is that you feel me carrying a tampon around is a threat to you and your womanhood. How is someone doing something nice so repulsive to you?
True.
Because listen to this. If a man, whether he was your boyfriend or your husband, could even be your gay best friend, kept a tampon for you at his house just in case you needed it, you'd gush over him. You would run.
She probably gush period blood all over him. Women are gross, dude. Sorry, people who bleed are gross. Listen, I'm sorry, but it's true. Women say it too. You guys hate your own fucking period. So all the men that are pretending that was offensive, it's fucking true, man. Women are like, damn, that period is brutal. That's why I never want to be a fucking woman, bro. That shit's crazy. That's nuts.
To brunch on Sunday and tell all your gal pals that he's so thoughtful and he cares and he listens. And then a trans woman does it, and all of a sudden I'm the reason that there's a tampon shortage. It's not because I'm misogynistic, it's because you're transphobic. We got to work through this. And babe, caring for others, it's the bare minimum. You might not like me, but I care about you. I care about your feelings. I care about your...
I got my Red Wing, so what? I'm a fucking real man. You got yours? I'm a real fucking man, bro.
Opinion of me, which I'm really trying to get over. And the last thing I will say, and this will probably make you feel really good, is that I'm jealous of you. I wish I was born in your body.
Wow.
I wish I had a uterus. My sex assigned at birth was a biological male. Does that make you feel better hearing me say that?
Damn.
It's just not what God had in mind. So here I am.
Wow.
There's probably a lot of women that you don't like to group yourself with, but they're still women. And so am I. And now it feels like high school, and it feels like you want me to experience the pain and trauma that you've had to endure as a girl. And the fact that here I am, attempting to enjoy womanhood is incomprehensible to you.
This is pretty deep, bro. I can respect this, this is some real deep shit. It's like, bro, I just wanted to be, and I say bro for men and women, so sorry. The reason I'm not saying cis now is because, I don't want to overcorrect. You know what I mean? And be like, oh, I only call, trans women cis. Well, I'll call, fucking, cisgender women, bro. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. But, this person's just like, yo, listen, I wish I was born a fucking biological woman. And this sucks. That's such a real fucking thing, man. That's real. That's emotion, dude. That's vulnerability, and that's strength, in my opinion. I respect the hell out of that, bro. It's not often that you hear people be like, yo, I'm struggling, dude. I'm fucking struggling. And there's a lot of strength, whether you're a man or a woman, saying that. And just strongly saying, I'm struggling right now. And I wish I wasn't. And whether you like trans people or not, I feel like you got to respect this in some capacity. Just be like, yeah, that's some real shit. Because I feel like we've all been there. And you want to know what? Just telling people that you're having a hard time sometimes helps. Sometimes it just makes it a little less hard. Sometimes just saying it out loud makes it a little easier. It's fucking real shit, man.
Whether it's that I carry tampons, that I'm too feminine, or I call myself a girl, or that I'll never birth a child, well, here's some more good news for you. I'm not enjoying my womanhood as much as I was. And my pain might be different than your pain, but it's very real. So if that was your goal, then congrats. But I'm still a woman, and I'm tired, and we don't have to be BFFs, and you don't have to follow me. Just please don't call the police on me if we bump into each other in the bathroom. My only agenda is to try to find the will to wake up every day and find some ounce of happiness. And believe it or not, somehow I love you. And P.S., I am also very nervous for you just because hopefully soon transphobia won't be as tolerated online, but your tweets are forever and I don't want those to come back and haunt you. Okay?
That part is true. Sometimes you gotta look at the optics. Listen, man. Listen, I don't tell you. I listen, bro. I always appreciate strength. I think like fucking real recognizes real. I think strength recognizes strength, and like I respect the hell out of Dylan Mulvaney, bro. You know, every time I see a take that she has, like it's always respectful and fucking strong, and like it's like I respect the fuck out of it. I don't know how you could look at somebody and be like this person is bad. You know what I'm saying? That was respectful as fuck. That was respectful as fuck. I mean, I respect that.
Yeah, babe. You know, we all know that you ladies are running to your Sunday brunch in your fancy hats, gushing to your gal pals about how your boyfriend walks around in a fanny.
It's convenient that he left out that second half of that video where Dylan showed so much raw emotion. And she was like, "Yo, bro, I'm fucking struggling." You know, it's like, why leave that out? Are you afraid your audience? Maybe he puts it in here, but are you afraid your audience? Are you afraid your audience was going to respect that? He definitely shows a little bit more here. We'll see what they say. It's only about 20 seconds, but are you afraid your audience is going to see that?
Fanny pack stuffed with tampons, just in case you have a menstrual emergency.
Dylan is mocking women and he is setting women back. We worked our butts off to have rights and respect we finally have, and Dylan is trolling all over it. I have a question for you, Ray Rain, like a genuine question. What is it that Dylan is doing that has a negative impact on women? What have you seen from Dylan that makes you feel like women are going backwards because of Dylan identifying as a woman? Like, I just want you to be able to answer that question, you know, instead of saying that they're mocking you and they're setting women back. How does it set women back? Like, explain that to me. I'd really like to know. Respectfully.
When he's around. Using the internet without ExpressVPN, well, it's like leaving your laptop.
Base, guys, get a VPN so you can look at inappropriate pornography. 3 months for free. Just type Matt Walsh in the search bar. And
this is one of the most glaring truths about trans womanhood is Matt Walsh Show. ExpressVPN.com/Matt Walsh Show.
It's true. I use ExpressVPN to look at scat porn, so.
You notice how Mulvaney's vision of womanhood is almost entirely derived from Sex and the City episodes. This is one of the most glaring truths about transgenderism. The men who identify as women are not only not women, they also understand women far less than the average man who identifies as what he actually is.
That's probably not true. Listen, bro, here's the reality. A trans woman, right? They go through most of their life or their developmental cycle as a man. Like, that's the reality. Identifying as a man and everything. And so, of course, a trans woman is not going to have the same experiences leading up to before they transition as a cisgender woman. That's a reality, and that's a conversation we definitely should have. It's a really interesting conversation, right? Shit's different. I understand that, but like it's a lot for a lot of these people. It's just like, yo, I should have been born in this body, and this sucks. And like, I'm trying my best to express myself in the way that makes me the happiest. That's it. It's not that deep. It's not that deep, bro. You know? And I know Matt Walsh is an advocate for traditional roles. He thinks that women should do more traditional roles. And so you're asking cisgender women to do like specific stereotypical roles in the household. So why is it so weird that a trans woman is also playing onto stereotypical roles? Like, I don't really get it. I don't understand why. I don't understand. I feel like there's a level of cognitive dissonance here.
Like, this dude knows a lot less about women than I do, or like any normal man, especially a married man.
I don't know about that, bro. You don't seem to know too much. You don't even know about toilet paper, but
so we're not women, but we've been around them. We're married to one, so we have some sort of insight. This guy just doesn't understand women at all.
What's the part that Dylan doesn't understand about women? I'm just curious.
Trans women know vastly less about women. Have a much inferior understanding of womanhood.
Based on what? Like, give me an example.
So I may not.
Dylan brought this onto him. So this is the same person that made their comment before. Dylan brought this onto themselves. I'm going to say she's not even really transitioning. It's all game. So I just want you to be explicitly clear. And Dylan is ruining women's decades of hard work. So I want to be very explicitly clear to Ray Rain. I explicitly asked you what issues that Dylan is setting women back on, and you've responded, and you still don't have a response. Like, you don't have an argument, you don't have an answer, and that's fine. You can engage in prejudice as much as you want, but understand that like, you don't have an actual argument as to how Dylan is hurting women, because there's none to have. You're like, you have a prejudice, you have an undefined like dislike for trans people. You didn't answer my question. You didn't say anything. I asked you how, and you gave me zero answer. All you said is that they're mocking women. What are you talking about? You're saying that Dylan's mocking women and setting women back because they're trolling. How are they mocking women? How are they setting people back? No, you didn't say any answer. I don't know what you want me to tell you. You've said nothing. I'm getting stun locked at this point. But this is the one I responded to. Dylan is mocking women and setting women back. We worked our butts off to have the rights and respect we finally have, and Dylan is trolling. And I asked you, how is that happening? And we go down. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Boom, 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 boom. So far, Dylan brought this onto themselves. He's not even really transitioning. It's all a game, and Dylan is ruining women's... Okay, again, you didn't tell me how they're ruining decades of hard work, and now you're coping. I did have an answer. You chose not to read it. You didn't give me an answer at all way before that. Okay, so copy and paste it. If your next response isn't a copy and paste of an actual answer, I'm gonna ban you from the chat because you're being just... No, if your next message, just copy and paste it.
Not have women totally figured out, but I do know that, first of all, most of them aren't going to Sunday brunch in the first place. And if they do, they aren't talking about their boyfriends and husbands' attitudes towards tampons.
Okay.
In fact, if I...
When did she assert that?
Maybe so presumptuous. I'm going to assume that almost every woman on the planet would be deeply creeped out if the men in their lives walked around with extra tampons on hand all the time.
No, probably not. I don't think so. It would be unusual because men don't usually do that. Why would they be creeped out?
I can tell you that my wife has been to brunch with the gal pals, which she would never call them that, by the way, ever.
Oh, you just said that they wouldn't be doing that. What?
Like maybe twice in the last decade, she's been to a Sunday brunch. And if I ever pulled a tampon out of my pocket and asked her if she needed it, she would look at me with a mixture of confusion and horror. And she...
What?
Tampon out of my pocket. Like maybe twice in the last decade, she's been to a Sunday brunch. And if I ever pulled a tampon out of my pocket and asked her if she needed it, she would look at me with a mixture of confusion and horror.
That's not what she said. You're not even correctly asserting what she said. What Dylan said was like, I have tampons in case someone asks. She doesn't just pull them out and say, hey, you need one? You're dishonest here intentionally. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're not even framing what she said correctly. She didn't say I'm walking around asking people if they need fucking tampons. Like I'm out fucking selling hot dogs at a fucking baseball game. She's like, I have them in case someone asks me for them.
And she would assume that I had gone completely insane. There would be no gushing to the gal pals about it. She might bring it up to a female friend, but it would be like in a hushed and concerned sort of tone. Like, he had tampons in his pocket. How concerned should I be about this? Okay. And by the way, also, whatever happened to listening to women, right? We're supposed to listen to women. So Dylan Mulvaney thinks that women should be appreciative of the tampon thing. He's admitting that the women...
But she's not saying that they should be appreciative. She's saying some people are complaining and basically trolling on Twitter. So you're not even accurately representing that.
Women are telling him, no, thanks. Please stop doing this. This is weird. Just stop. You don't need to worry about the tampons. Let us figure that out. And rather than listening to the women who are telling him what they want, he says, well, you should know. You should want something else.
It's not really what was communicated there. Not all women are a monolith. Every woman I've talked to does not give a single fuck about trans people existing. They're like, yeah, do you? I've talked to my wife about, like, what do you think about, like, women who are like, oh, trans women are disrespecting women, just like the unintelligent person came in the chat and said without ever giving me a response as to how. And she's like, who cares? Like, it's not an issue. Like, women aren't just like, it's not, if you're so sensitive about a trans woman, talking about like going from women with periods to people with periods, if that means so much to you, you're a very privileged person that has nothing like actually going on in your life that's actually stressing you out. Like, that's the reality. Like, that's the fucking thing. Like, if that's a problem to you, like, your life's on easy street, bro. Your life's on easy street.
Because that's the other thing you notice about this tampon saga with Dylan Mulvaney, aside from the fact that he's trying to become a woman and yet has apparently never met one, it's also how condescending and patronizing and threatening he is to the...
Not at all. She's very respectful. You're very condescending in general.
Very people he's trying to emulate. Trans-identifying men are very much executing a hostile takeover of womanhood.
How?
And though he cloaks his condescension...
Like, explain to me how. You explain how.
...and insults in a very thin veil of faux kindness... It all still comes through loud and clear, especially at the end. Listen to what he says at the end.
So you didn't play the 2 minutes of them talking about how their real struggle with their identity. And now you're going to play the part where it's like, she says, be careful about what you say now because it gets you canceled in the future. Okay. It could. Why skip the part where she has a heart-to-heart with people about her identity? Why intentionally do that? Like, that's my biggest thing. And my biggest problem is that the intentional... Like, here's my thing. Here's my thing, okay? Is that like it's one thing to disagree. It's one thing to say I don't think Dylan's a woman. I obviously disagree, but like to specifically remove parts of their TikTok video and to intentionally misrepresent things that she's saying, that I don't understand how you could have your argument like that. I don't understand how you could throw that as like an argument. It's just like dishonest. Like, be honest about stuff. Be honest. So.
P.S. I am also very nervous for you just because hopefully soon transphobia won't be as tolerated online, but your tweets are forever and I don't want those to come back and haunt you. Okay? Bye.
He's nervous for you.
Are you gonna pretend to be upset about this take here, Matt? You gonna
He's trying to look out for you, ladies. He's just concerned that he might have to ruin your life over wrongthink. He loves you. He's your friend. He cares for you so much. And he really doesn't want to have to destroy you for expressing politically incorrect ideas.
I guess it's more that like we're shifting, and when this becomes less tolerated online, people are gonna be like, hey, that was really shitty. Why did you say that back in the day? It's kind of like a pragmatic thing to say. Again, I don't know why you skipped the other 2 minutes of them having like a heart to heart, but okay.
It would hurt him more than it would hurt you. He would hate it if your defense of biological reality came back to haunt you. Man, would he hate that. So shut your mouth, get in line, let him use your bathroom and locker rooms all he wants, let him appropriate womanhood, turn it into some kind of bizarre Sex in the City parody, let him degrade your femininity, let him run around acting out his tampon fetish, let him do all of this in front of you as a direct mockery of you, and do not object. Because those objections might come back to haunt you.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Not a single non-transphobic person has talked about this the right way. If you're somebody who doesn't understand trans people, I totally get it. I don't even think that's transphobic. I think that that's normal. But you notice that there's always a mile of disrespect tagged to these viewpoints. If you're like, I don't understand this, I don't get that, this seems weird and confusing to me, I'd be all like, yeah, let's chat about that. But the thing is that most people are just dumb. No, excuse me, they're disrespectful. And this person in the chat is dumb, who keeps saying Dylan is setting women back without ever saying how. Like, you're not trying to be respectful and engage. You're just trying to be disrespectful and hateful. That's a you problem, bro. Because if you operate when it comes to this issue in a disrespectful way, you're probably just a disrespectful person. And people don't respect you in general. Be more respectful, bro.
This is the trans invasion of womanhood in a nutshell. Bizarre, fetishistic, degrading, condescending, pushed through with veiled threats and not so veiled threats.
Okay.
So he's the perfect mascot in many ways, not of womanhood, but of its invaders and appropriators. And for that reason, he is once again today canceled. And that'll do it for this portion of the show.
Incredible. Bro, Ray, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I know you keep saying I can't read. I read everything that you said. You are a profoundly unintelligent person who has refused to just show me. I'm just looking for how Dylan is setting women back. You've sent paragraphs of saying, look above, scroll back up. I scrolled up. You have nothing. Instead of continuously telling me to go find something that you've never put in there, a fucking mythical creature unicorn that doesn't exist, articulate what you have to say. But the reality is that you're like you look like you're like a 30-year-old woman that probably is just like a stay-at-home mom who's super fucking bored, and all you do is watch other people's streams and you fucking come in and concern troll in everybody's stream because you have nothing going on in your life. This is the highlight of your life, is being an unintelligent dumb fuck in my chat while people look at what you're saying and go, wow, you're stupid. Not because we disagree, but because you refuse to answer a very simple question that I proposed respectfully originally. And now you're just being annoying and testing my patience, and now I'm engaging in a cathartic experience that I get to make you look like a fucking idiot. Like, dude, all you had to say was like, hey, I think that Dylan is setting women back because of A, B, C, D. And I would have said, okay, let's go for that. I tried the empathetic route, and you're just continuously embarrassing yourself in the chat. Like, you could have just said, like, here's the problem I have, but you just keep saying shit over and over and over and over again. And do you think that the reason why you pretend to be offended by Dylan Mulvaney because they're pretending to be a woman is because you have so little going on that what it means to be a woman to you is just periods and fucking poop, and like you don't actually have any type of thing going on in your fucking life that's an accomplishment outside of saying, I'm a girl, I'm accomplishment, do something that makes you worth anything and focus on that instead of focusing on shitting on a fucking trans woman. Get some other value in your fucking life, because this is boring. What's your fucking motivation? Like, what happened in your life that put you down a path of having nothing going for you but this, but periods? It's just, to me, you're saying, you're saying all the shit. Apparently, all a woman is to you is a fucking period. What about a strong fucking mother? Where's that? That's what it means to be a woman, too. How about strong femininity? What the fuck are we talking about? All it means to you is period. Oh, period makeup. That's a girl. Dylan Mulvaney pretend to be girl. What does it mean to be a woman to you, bro? Where's your philosophy on that? Because it's very shallow if you're looking at Dylan and going like, oh my God, this is destroying women. How is Dylan destroying women? Explain that to me in any real capacity. What's happening? What is Dylan doing? Do you think that here's what it is. I figured it out. Ray, you're like, Dylan is clearly so much more attractive than you that dudes would rather fuck her than you, and you're like, I can't get any dick anymore. My husband's jerking off to fucking Dylan Mulvaney and he won't fuck me anymore, and that's how it's destroying me as a woman, because I can't get any fucking dick. That's what's happening. Is that what you're threatened by, because she's more attractive than you? I don't get it. I don't understand. What is it? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on? So that's the problem. That's the problem that I have with you. Okay? That's where we're at, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Okay? I don't know what to tell you, dude. I can understand not understanding trans people. I don't understand, and you still haven't said how Dylan is setting women back. I don't see how. Explain it to me. Explain that to me. Explain it, please, because I would love to know the argument so that I can bring it up every time somebody brings it up here. I would love to be able to say I understand, because here's the thing. I understand where there's women who express frustration with trans women. And this is what they say. And they say, I have a problem with accepting trans women as women because they didn't grow up as a woman. And they don't understand the childhood experience as a woman. And I say, I'm listening. I'm hearing what you're saying. And now I can engage because I get that. I can understand that argument. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me. And that's why I brought it up in the stream. I brought that up earlier. Most fucking people wouldn't bring it up if they're trying to be pro like trans, but I get it. Trans women and cis women are different. But you're not giving me an argument to bring up when we have these conversations. And it's because I don't think that you care. I think that you're fucking bored. Your activism, your advocacy for women centralizes on hurting trans women rather than building up cisgender women. Because you're not trying to build anything. You're just trying to destroy, dude. You're a lazy, boring person. So, that's it. That's all it comes down to. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you, man.
$4.99. This is why I love Papa's streams. We love the no-nonsense reality-checking chatters.
Hey, Pogger champion. Pogger champion, baby. Dylan reduced womanhood down to makeup. This is somebody else that actually responded. Down to makeup and tampons in his Lush Cosmetics interviews. The fact that they did a growing up woman segment for Women Month is disrespectful. So here's the thing. That doesn't break down women. What I would respond to that is like, yeah, and I said this earlier in the stream, is that like, I said it multiple times actually, cisgender women and trans women are very different, especially trans women who don't go through their developmental years as a woman. They go through as a man. And so there's going to be things that they're not going to understand. Right? They don't have as deep of an understanding of womanhood. Of course not. It's impossible because they didn't grow up for like 18 years being socialized as a woman. A lot of aspects of it, there's obviously biological aspects, a lot of it's socialization. And so if you're saying
super chatted $1.90.
Sorry, I'll look at that in a second. Hold on a second. If your argument is like, yeah, they have a shallow perspective of what it means to be a woman, that's true, but how does that hurt other women? That's the question I'm asking. I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't make women look bad. Like that might make her look bad. It might make her it might cause you to perceive her as less authentic. And I understand that, but how does that hurt women? How does that set women back? That's the question that I'm asking. I'm not asking, that's what I'm asking. That's what I want to know. That's the response I'm looking for. Donna is the one who said that. That's what I'm looking for.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face. just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.